Remember when we thought it was all over for new Apple products this year, when Apple randomly dropped a weird pencil last week? Well, now we almost certainly have a Mac-focused event the day before Halloween at 5 p.m. in California instead of 10 a.m. as usual, which means like 1 in the morning here, and it could be absolutely packed. Wait, there's no time for doing the proper introductions today. Just subscribe if you haven't already. Let's just get on with it. The name, scary fast, Halloween and new chips, which means M3. Let's be honest, M2, nah, doesn't make any sense. We've already got that, no faster. But possibly even more, and we'll come to that in a minute. But the M3 looks set to appear in the updated iMac, which admittedly has been languishing far too long in its M1 only format. Now that covers the desktop, but on the laptop side, I don't think we're going to see the traditional MacBook Air update, which normally comes first with the new chips, but potentially just the MacBook Pro 13-inch, and hopefully they'll finally remove the touch bar, make it cheaper, and call it MacBook. It's just confusing when you have a MacBook Pro with M3 and M3 Pro and M3 Max and the Air also with it. It makes no sense. Now, one thing that we did see when the iPhone 15 stuff was going on is USB-C cables that were matched in terms of colors, which everyone thought was going to be for that new iPhone. But if they're even genuine Apple ones, I think they're actually likely to be for iMac accessories, the Magic Mouse, the keyboard, and the trackpad. But one thing nobody seems to be pointing out at the moment, although I think Sam Cole might have mentioned this, is one of those cables is black. And the invite is pretty dark, so could we be getting a dark mode iMac with black bezels? We can only dream. And now onto the fun stuff. M3 Pro and M3 Max MacBook Pros are also rumoured to be coming, with Mark Gurman pointing out that these, as well as the iMacs, have got very low stock levels at Apple stores, so we could well be getting a whole bunch of new Mackie goodness next week. And there have been rumoured updates to the display on the MacBook Pro and the Mini LED that is more efficient, but that's no product announcement without a new chip. So my theory for why all of these chips are potentially coming at the same time is that Apple might have redesigned the way that their wafers are laid out so that the M3, M3 Pro and M3 Max can be made on a single wafer, and the design is kind of a mix of the chips, with the smaller ones filling the edges, the larger ones in the middle, or potentially even having a single chip design that can be chopped in the same way that the Ultras would be chopped in half to go down to the Max chips, and then there was a GPU segment that could be chopped off of those to turn it into a Pro chip based on where the errors are on the wafer. Now, in the M1 generation, Apple was making the Ultra chips that way, but this time they'd only need to go one step further to do the M3 chips in the same way. It makes sense. Oh, and of course, if we are getting those MacBook Pros, then the Mac Mini would also have its new chip available with the M3 Pro, but I feel like Apple is probably going to hold off on the Mac Minis to go along with the MacBook Airs in spring next year. That's probably also when we'll get the iPad updates, that kind of stuff, because otherwise this event is just going to be chaotically full, and I don't see Apple doing that. Also, the MacBook Airs, they need to be held off because obviously the M2 MacBook Air in 15-inch only got refreshed in June, and it would be a little bit pushing it this time to do it now, but it's not that far off. So what do you think about these rumours? Do you think that these are the things that we're going to see? It's pretty clear it's going to be Max. Look at the invite. It turns into a Finder icon. But are we going to see Pros and Maxes at the same event? That would be awesome. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you to the Patreons. And don't forget, I am doing stand-up comedy for charity very, very soon. Justgiving.com/iCaveDave if you want to donate.